my name is Dammy Feyide, and I'm the founder and CEO of Let It Shine Academy and Theo by Lisa. I'm also the head of SME strategy at Providus Bank, and I'm also the author of Hephzibah's Anthology. What inspired me to start Lisa, I would simply say, is Jesus and the Holy Spirit. I always say that being close to the heart of God, you know what breaks his heart and you know what he wants to do for the ones that he loves, and that's simply what it was. What has been my proudest moment in my career? So either in banking or in education. I kind of have for both. In education, my now SS1 students, we wrote junior WAEC for the first time in May, and all my students passed, no receipts, nothing. I think I'm gonna have a lot of proud moments, but that's definitely one of it, because it just showed that everything we've been doing over the past 4 years was something, it was meaningful, and a lot of them didn't think they were ever going to write NECO. So it was just really incredible to see that. And when I first started, I met most of them, they couldn't really read or write or spell. So seeing that transformation from that to that it's pretty special for me, towards my teachers and my staff, my kids, Lisa in general. I think, yeah, that. And in banking, December 2023, I got asked to lead the SME strategy desk, which was really insane because I've been in banking 4 years. You know how you're like, I'm not sure what I'm doing sometimes, imposter syndrome, but just being asked that was probably one of the biggest things for me. And then the initiatives that we've been able to put together over the past year, and really ensuring that my bank is top in SME banking. How do my experiences in the banking sector help me with, I guess, managing and running a school? It's actually really important. I think when I first started, I kind of thought they were like so separate, and obviously they are very different, but I understand that the leader that I am, the way that I'm able to manage and serve my team and certain things I've put in place, it's literally because of what I've experienced as an employee in my bank. One thing that I know that we do at Lisa is I have faculty meetings every Thursday with all my staff. We do staff training every quarter, and even like health insurance, those are things that I kind of took from how I'm treated at Providus and how I'm looked at. And there's something else that has really helped me with my career is not really micromanaging, really empowering everyone you put them in position and letting them kind of fly. And I think that's kind of how I work, especially with my principal, my vice principal, and a lot of my teachers, is really just helping to empower them. And I'll say that's definitely one. I know there's a lot of other things, but yeah. So how do I manage my time and prioritize one task between the two roles? Honestly, it's very difficult. I don't know that I've gotten a handle of it, but I feel like every day I'm doing better. They're very demanding. I always say Lisa is 24/7, it's not 9 to 5. And I do have a 9 to 5 that requires me to travel and be all over. But one thing I would say is being able to delegate. That's something I wasn't really good at a couple years ago, but I really learned that is so important, is delegation and having just a supportive team. You know, with Lisa, I have such a supportive team where I can be away for months, and I know that the school won't be on fire. And just even the community of friends and family, when I'm not around to handle certain things, on my board is going on, my dad is going on, my friend is going. So that has really helped. And even with Providus as well, having a team where I can actually delegate. And I think one thing for me is knowing first things first, not carrying anyone else's monkey, but first things first, and just prioritizing every day. I have a wonderful assistant, and we're very good at what's today's top 3, what's today's top 10. So yeah. So what role do I think that education has in entrepreneurship? Obviously, I'm very biased, but I think education has role to play in everything. And I think it's the root cause of a lot of things that we all see now. Funny stories, I didn't just start a secondary school like that. The year before I started the secondary school, we still run it. I started a creative academy. So it's called Let It Shine Creative Academy. And the whole essence of that was providing access to kids so that they could dream, and then giving access to things they could do with their hands. So every Saturday for the past 5 years, they learn ballet, coding, STEM, graphic design, how to cook, how to, art. And all of this is not just the actual talents and skills, but then the other skills required. So if you're trying to make hair, the skills that you need around running that business. And I think there's a scripture that in Hosea that says, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. I just feel like if you don't have knowledge about something, if you're not enlightened about something, no matter how much talent you have or something, there's a lack somewhere. So I really feel like education is key. I tell my kids, you want to be a football player or ballerina when you grow up, who's going to be managing your finances? Because they'll rob you. You know, how are you going to know what's right for you and what's not right for you? And beyond that, you want to be in certain rooms. There's a level of knowledge and wisdom that you need, that education to any degree, you know, can bring to you. So I think it's just so important. How do I encourage that in my school? I think one thing I love about my school, not just because it's my school, is it's very holistic. I think a lot of people ask, why didn't you just sponsor these kids into other schools? Why did you have to start your own school? And it was because there's a lot of intentionality around what we're doing. So for example, every year we have career day and I bring in all my friends in all their different, you know, sectors. I have fashion designers, I have soldiers, I have brand experts, I have bankers, I have consultants, I have engineers, and they don't get that anywhere. They literally come and spend 30 minutes, you know, with the kids, and they're really understanding the basis of all these things. And my kids also get internships. I have a friend who owns a couple restaurants in Lagos, and she's been incredible enough to give 10 of my kids internships. I have a friend who owns a fashion brand, and now she's trying to bring my kids on to do that, to be there for to do that for their internships. So all of that, it's really just encouraging and teaching them how to start their businesses, how to run it, how to manage their businesses, and just those really important life practical skills that you can have as well. So that's just one way that we do that. My long-term goals for the school and how we're working to achieve them. So right now we have primary 6 up until SS1, so 220 students. So in 2 years, I'm going to be graduating my first set and getting them off to university. And right now my focus is on getting them into universities. Right now we're working on partnerships with universities like my alma mater in Sheffield, working with Pan Atlantic University, and other colleges in Nigeria, universities in Nigeria and outside of Nigeria. So one thing I also want to make sure I'm doing is I want to make sure that every opportunity they have access to. So they're going to be writing SAT and IGCSEs. So from next year, they're not going to be having Easter holidays and summer holidays because they're going to be coming for like SAT lessons, IGCSE lessons and all of that. Long term as well, we're looking at building. We got offered a piece of land earlier this year, and having 220 students, we occupy 2 floors where we currently are, but the long-term plan is to actually build our own space so that we're not moving up and down, and just a place to call home that would house hundreds of children. And I think for me, one thing that really breaks my heart, which is why Lisa exists, is the fact that there's still so many kids that don't have access to quality education. Every year, I can only take, like this year, I took 73 new kids in. And it just breaks my heart to say no, because this year we had about over 200 people apply to join the school. So it's really just expanding what we're doing in Lisa beyond where we are in Lagos to other states. And that's why Theo by Lisa exists, is providing access to digital education. So that's something anybody does. I always tell my teachers, like, maybe they are late to deliver something, or someone is late coming to class, or someone doesn't show up. I always say, if you had a child in school, would you be happy if their teacher didn't show up to class? Would you be happy if they didn't get results on time? Would you be happy if someone is wish-washing the way they're delivering education to them? And the answer obviously is no. And I feel like if everyone is doing that, then there's just going to be a change. I think like I said, there's a bunch of different things, but I would just probably give examples as to how maybe Lisa is doing certain things different that I would like to see different. If you go to a lot of public schools, first of all, the easiest thing is teachers aren't showing up. If you're not empowering your teachers, if you're not serving them properly, they're not going to come and do the work. If you're not making life easier for them. I remember once I was doing, because I did research before I started, while I was starting my school, and I remember speaking to one public school, and they said something to me about how their math teacher teaches like just 1 to SS1, and there's 90-something kids in a class. So even just one class, there's one man doing that, the capacity. So just being considerate in that regard, and just doing the needful, the basic things. I remember starting my school, and even now, that's why I have a primary school class. We call it the preparatory class. So it's for 1 year, but it's a crash course between primary 1 to primary 6, because a lot of kids come to me and they finish primary school, but they don't know how to read or write or spell, and they're not up to standard for just 1. So I do a crash course within a year, basically getting down What advice would I give to someone who is trying to start a foundation that focuses on doing good? I would say, first of all, please pray about it and ask God. Obviously, you can do something good, but it doesn't mean that it's God that's leading you to do that. And just to find out what way he wants you to get it done, because I could have just said, oh my God, I want to do something in education, but the how and the way, obviously, I was being led and directed. But another thing I would say is go with what you have in your hands, and don't be afraid, just go, because I would say from experience with me, I studied economics and business management. I work in finance. I have no business being in education. But again, it was just going with what I had in my hands and just doing it and just starting, and then everything else will fall into place. So don't wait until I get to sort picture perfect, or you have all the degrees, or you have all the, just if you feel that burden in your heart, I would say start, and do not despise the humble beginnings. Everyone sees Lisa for what it is right now, but I started with about 2 or 3 teachers in a correctional center with 15 boys, and we're here. So I would say, go with what you have in your hands. What is fashion to me? I would definitely say that fashion to me has changed over the past few years, but one thing I'm really happy about and I love for me now is it's definitely a way for me to express myself in every season of my life. There's an era of Dammy that is so different from this one, and I feel like I can really express that, and it's really identifiable in the way that I dress up. It's definitely a form of a self-expression. I just don't like saying that because I feel like everyone says that. But I also feel like it's been really good for my friendships, because me and my best friend have that in common. So it's like a nice way that we get to like bond and stuff. But yeah.